All right. Hello, everyone. Alina Wilson here with Estimate Mastery. And today we have a very special guest. This is Dmitry with Roofing Insights. Say hello to the folks.
Hey guys, pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me as a guest. Love it.
Super exciting stuff. So, for those of you who are part of my audience who don't know Dmitry, I would like to know a little bit more about your background. I know you came from, was it cabinetry or flooring, all the way up to creating a very successful roofing business, and then now what you do today with your marketing, fitness, and all the other programs you have. So, just a little bit of background on you would really help us get to know you a bit better.
Sure. So I've been in the trades pretty much my whole life. I started my first job was a siding installer back in 2005, 17 years ago when I came to the United States. I worked in a cabinet shop for a couple of years. I worked for contractor for a couple of years. That contractor filed bankruptcy back in, I want to say 2009. I was his right hand. He mismanaged money. I mean, our average project was like 60, $70,000 kitchen remodel, basement finishing, addition. We would take a roof off, add a floor. I mean, I've done it all. So I've done a lot of tiles, floors, everything. And then when he filed bankruptcy back in 2009, I came home, told my wife I will never work for anyone else, and I never did. Went on Craigslist, and I knew one thing back then, that you cannot be successful doing it all. And I have a great example in front of me. The guy who was doing $150,000 actual last project when he filed bankruptcy, the biggest one that we were working on between four projects, it was $150,000 addition. So a lot of times we think that, oh, bigger is better, sales, right? And I saw that's opposite. But when I was working for him, I saw a lot of subs coming in. I saw the roofers, I saw the flooring guys, I saw guys who would come in for a day, get a check. So, like, for example, it would be like 2-3 man crew, and they would make like $1,000 installing 100 floors. So I was analyzing processes. I'm like, who is really making money? So this guy who I work for, I know he's struggling. He doesn't have money to pay. I remember, imagine you have four projects, 60, like last four projects we have $60,000 kitchen remodel, $150,000 addition, bathroom remodel, and basement finishing. Total $300,000-$400,000 worth of project going on. But when we meet, he's like, hey, I don't have money to pay, this guy. Or like he was robbing Peter to pay Paul between the project. He couldn't buy lumber for this project. He couldn't get a roof here. So we have to be creative to keep this stuff going. But meanwhile, you have a painter or drywall guy comes in and works for one day. So back then, I learned early on that riches are in the niches. You can be specialist in one area, and that's why I realized I don't care about all the big stuff. I don't care that I'm a big boss, because everybody's looking at the GC or your top remodeler as a the guy in the big truck, the guy who writes checks. But in reality, I have a friend here in Minneapolis. He installs carpets for like past 15 years. His house is paid off. He installed carpet in my house like 1,200, $1,300. By 3 o'clock, he was done. Cash, labor, right? So I fell in love with the trades. But when I decided to start the business, I did not care what to do. I just knew I have to pick one and be good at it. So I went on the Craigslist. And so pretty much he filed bankruptcy. He said, we're closing on Friday. And over with the weekend, I created this ad, 1 week special, a hardwood floor installed, $1 square foot. I made $2,500 in my first week as a flooring business owner, and I did not know anything about the flooring business. I knew I could install it. I've done it for our company, but I didn't do it as a business. So on average, I would do 500 to 1,000 square feet a day worth of flooring. I became really good at it. After a couple of years, I was running 6 crews. That was my first business. I've done it for 2 years, and then I moved to Minneapolis. And when I moved to States, the same thing. I'm like, what I'm gonna do? My flooring business from Atlanta not gonna transfer clients to Minneapolis, so I could start with a clean sheet. And I picked roofing as a trade. But honestly, if I moved to Arizona, I would maybe open a pool company, wherever, or a patio company, wherever the demand is there. You look at your market, what's the most needed? What's the most searched? Where is demand is? Because it's not what you know, it's what people need, supply and demand. If you understand it, build a business around it, Anyway, so that's my background. I've done cabinets, I've done insulation, I've done painting, drywall, I've flipped homes. I've done roofing for 7 years. From 2013 to 2020, I was a roofing contractor. So I sold my flooring business in 2012. I sold my roofing company in 2013. I sold my roofing process conference just last year. So I sold 3 businesses by now. I've never been fired in my life, and I've never bankrupted any business I've been in. And today I even still have 6 businesses. I love niches. I don't like to combine everything in one big giant company. If you have a service, create a business around it, and that's how things scales for me.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I love what you said. What's most searched in the market? That's brilliant because everybody hears roofing or they hear that it's like, well, maybe you're in Oregon where it's all just retail. There's no insurance work. Like, do you really want to get into roofing in Oregon? I love that. That's really fantastic. But they may have, some other need, basement sump pumps or something that they use in Oregon. So just go after what's most searched in the market is fantastic. And then always, riches are in the niches. I love that saying because for us here at Estimate Mastery, everyone's like, well, why don't you train adjusters? I'm like, because I train contractors. That's my niche. And my niche is roofing because those guys need the most help right now. It's like, that's what we do. That's the only thing we do. And we do it the best of our ability because we can focus. A split focus is no focus. So that's really interesting about the GC too. Now you have marketing fitness. Is that really the newest initiative in the suite of Dmitrys products?
Yeah, so I have a roofing school, marketing fitness. It's just a revenue source. So I have a director. I connect homeowners and contractors. The reason I started marketing fitness is I recommend about 600 contractors. So marketing fitness is a free program for directory contractors. I do 5 videos per week. Like, for example, today, every Monday I go live, 20, 30 people show up. Like today, like another example, I had a contractor who added soft wash service to his roofing company, and for an entire hour I was talking about how to add it. Like, actually we came up with the idea that the best way to do it is build a website almost like a landing page outside of your company. If you really want to generate leads, even in such a small niche as a roof cleaning or soft washing shingles, like if you're in the algae market, you're Atlanta, you're Tennessee, there's a lot of pockets in the country where you can walk through the neighborhood. We were talking, I have a guest speaker today, DT Roofing in Texas. They do tons of work. The guy literally walks into the business and say, hey, here's the picture of you outside with the algae exterior. Like, I can clean it for $1,100 because do you think it's acceptable for your customers to have this look? And he's like, nope, not acceptable. Sells him a job, or like with an 80% profit margin, right? Wow. So this is like, I believe in marketing, and I believe in the fitness approach to marketing. And the guy who actually was, I kind of were roasting him because I like to get people uncomfortable. So I have a student, and he built this page for soft cleaning like 6 months ago. He said in February, but he've never done it. He've never done one job. And I'm like, no, this is changing. It's like you buying, I don't know, gym equipment. You bought a soul bike or rower and you've never gotten it. How many times we've done it in our lifetime, right? For me, if you have equipment, if you have an idea, if you have a business, it's implementation. We're doing it, but you cannot do it alone. So this guy has been challenged like crazy today. So we have a business owner who have soft washing page on his website, never sold one job. He has equipment. He was showing us his equipment, and I connected immediately. I'm like, I'm making a phone call. So I called Randy Hurtado, DT Roofing, and say, Randy, how do you do it? And we combined the two on the joint Zoom call. So for me, marketing is that. It's not about idea. It's not about watching a YouTube video how to get a 6-pack. It's actually going and doing it with the people who already have done it, being non-comfortable. That's how if you go to the gym with the 5 buff people and you humble enough to learn from them and follow their routine, give it a couple months, you'll see results.
Yeah,
so
I love that. And not being scared to like be friends with your competition. I don't know how you feel about that, but it's like rising tide raises all boats. So when I'm teaching them how to use Xactimate, and I'm like, here's what you need to do, here's your price. He's like, oh, don't tell that guy across the street about this. I'm like, dude, no, you want to communicate, because then when there's a pricing issue, it's too low in your area, you can come together and actually fix it. So trying to isolate yourself, it just doesn't work in our industry because you know, like you said, that guy knew exactly how to market that product, and it was fantastic.
Well said. And what the roofers needs to learn is collaboration is better than confrontation. It's my motto for
Mm,
2024. We have to learn from insurance companies. We have to learn from shingle manufacturers. We have to learn from suppliers. Have you noticed that in a majority of the banks in the country, if you go to Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they all look the same, like the same person designed them. They all have very similar services, right? Why is that? Because they study each other, they do stuff together. Well, suppliers, the same thing. Manufacturers, the same thing. We have price increases overnight from all the manufacturers. Why is that? Because they are in together. They're watching each other, they're working with each other, and they all get richer and richer. Roofers are the most ununited people. They're like, we all think it drives me crazy. People say, like, oh, we can't tell, I can't put my pricing online. I cannot let competition know how much I am charged. And my answer to that is, are you this dumb? Do you think people don't know? Do you think anybody, like, do you think your competition does not know how much you charge? Every single roofer in the country knows about every other roofer how much they charge. It's not a secret. You might as well be open about it.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And what I get real frustrated with is that they want to keep their people ill-educated, because if they educate them, they're going to leave. Like, pay your people so well and treat them so well. There's a book called Unreasonable Hospitality that I'm reading right now. It's
The book.
fantastic. It's an amazing book. And it's like, that's the way you treat, I don't care what industry you're in, treat your homeowners that way. Oh, well, I can't charge that much. I can't be that expensive. No, you're not expensive. It's the value you present to your experience of that homeowner and taking the best care of them. They're not going to go run to the next roofer, and they're going to call you back year after year, refer you to their friends, family, and loved ones because you treated them so well. So there's a level to that, whether it's your employees, who you deal with as your homeowners, your clients. So it's fantastic. Anyways, we're seeing a lot of newbies here at Estimate Mastery coming into the roofing industry. What are your thoughts on that? Are you seeing that as well?
Yeah. So internet is great equalizer. So I would say back in 2013, when I started my company, we did not have any education. There was no online schools. Windstorm was not around. Like, all the. So now you have so many online education, so many people willing to teach, to show the way. We have, a roofing academy, a roofing school. You have a lot of conferences. So I would say we close the gap on education. Now, if you really want to learn the roofing business, you go on YouTube. You follow someone like, John Sinek or Adam Bansman, right? So it's easier than ever to start a business. A lot of people, and also I would argue that we had way too many middlemen, way too many people who did
Mm,
not have skin in the game, 10 years ago. Way too many people who truly were taking advantage of immigrants who did not speak English, people who, kind of were protecting, relationships or knowledge, if you will. There was a lot of unknowns in insurance restoration work, even what you do, Exactimate Masteries training, right? So now, if you're smart enough, you don't even have to. Honestly, you can go on YouTube and learn a roofing business. You can learn Exactimate. And also mentorship became more affordable. You have more than ever business owners willing to help almost for
mm,
free. A lot of times it's free. You can pick up a phone and say, "Hey, would you mentor me? Can you help?" And people became open. So society have changed. Roofing industry have changed in the past 10 years. I do see huge spike of newcomers. People believe in a business. People are tired to, like, here's the thing. Love it or hate it, but we do have a bad image of that fat contractor. And I say fat not only with a sense of body image, but if you remember, you probably have seen it back in World War One and World War II. There was a lot of posters. Like, we're talking about propaganda, like German propaganda, where people try to portray bankers as a fat, like cash.
the cigar.
Yeah, exactly. So the image. So we're like, okay, capitalism is evil, bankers are evil, all of it, right? Well, our industry 10, 15 years ago was like that. You have a lot of, and I see that image clearly. You can go on Instagram and you see like business owners sitting in a nice steakhouse, a little bit, a few extra pounds on each. They like to eat, they like to smoke cigars, they like lavish lifestyle, right? But then on the back end of it, think about hardworking guys, you crews, you laborers who don't have that life, but someone is flashing it in front of them. Oh, I have a big truck. I'm going to Cancun on vacations. I'm sitting in the steakhouses. So I would say that business owners created this almost hate and no respect for the ownership because they're not doing the work. Like you look at some people who run businesses, you would not believe that they're able to climb on a roof or do any work themselves. So now people below them start thinking, okay, how do I eliminate this guy? Because this guy did not get there by his hard work. He's a paper contractor. So paper contractors are true reason why we have so many new startups. And if you add on top of it unethical behavior by contractors, not paying their sales reps, not paying their crews, you don't pay a sales guy, for a couple of months of his work, he will never work for anyone else. He started on his own and says, screw you. And a lot of business owners have no business to do in business, but the only reason they're in business because they got screwed into business by some, con artist, fake guru, or contractor who, paper contractor. So now you definitely have competition. I mean, we're creating competition. We're creating the startups. And I definitely see it. I mean, we create bad contractors created what's happening right now.
Yep, I completely agree with that. That's exactly we're seeing and exactly what's happening for sure. And it goes back to that, just like take really good care of your people, and that you can build a really amazing business. But yeah, it speaks to why I started this business, is because I didn't like the way the people that I was working for were running it, and as I could do it better, harder, faster myself, I'm just going to go for it. And it's all about that implementation too that you talked about before. Like I was scared as all get out. I was like, I have to do this. Like I have to do this. This is what I have to do. It's just been a wonderful 10 years that we've been in business now. So it's fantastic. Do you think people should be getting in the industry right now, or is it getting overcrowded? What are your thoughts there?
I mean, we definitely are spoiled with a good economy. So many people don't remember bad times. I remember 2008, crash. I
Yeah.
remember where people, who used to make $150,000 in construction started making $25,000. A lot of people changed jobs. They became truck drivers. They went to grocery stores. I mean, you name it. We forgot that. We truly forgot. Like we don't know that bad times are coming. People don't think about it. I say that we definitely have too much competition in many markets, but it's not healthy competition. So those who persevere, those who are smart and have a grit, they will if you're a good guy, if you do good quality service, if you uh, like if you're willing to work harder than other, hungry guy always wins. Hungry kid will win. There's so much complacency. Like big guys become complacent, right? The hungry kids come in and they can take everything. Like market is not taken. We do have leaders here and there, but I remember when I entered Minneapolis market 2013, I was competing against $50 million company, and within 2 years, I have more reviews on Angie's List than they have because I was hungrier. Yeah, I was doing a couple $1 million, and I was still in jobs. And I remember homeowners were telling me this. I would come to the homeowner, and Seller Roofing is the name of the company. Nothing against them, probably good guys, but complacent. And I'm just sharing what homeowners were telling me. Homeowners would say, if they call Seller would not do repairs. They would not come for small calls. If you would tell them your roof is leaking and you just want to repair it, they wouldn't even come for the estimate. Now, I came in and, working my ass off. I'm presenting myself. I'm humble. So people see, and people told me like, hey, I got an estimate from Seller and from you. The Seller guy was arrogant. He was like, we're the biggest, we're the best. People in the United States love supporting small business. That's why I don't care about equity firms. They're not disruptors, because if you study equity firms and this company, in a flooring business, they have one, Empire Flooring. It's a one-star company. Yeah, they're $1 billion company. But would you hire Empire Floors to do your floors, or Jose or Dmitry, who is nice and personal and have a small business and couple kids, and you can become friends with the guy, right? So we support small businesses. So for me, big companies cannot match customer service of small business, mom and pop shop. We do have a lot of competition, but if you do good quality work, people will talk about you, they will remember you, you will be fine. It's still better than having a full-time job, and you will grow if you don't quit. Because the moment um, something happened to the economy, the moment people start holding to their cash, it could be another bubble or whatever. That's the moment where 80% of bad contractors and weak and complacent gonna go out of business.
Yeah.
So yes, we do have a lot because we've been fisting a lot, but it's hard. It's hard out there. I would say in 2024 it's harder than even than 2018, 19 pre-COVID. It's hard time to be in business. You have to be good. You can no longer be average or mediocre. You have to be good.
Yep, I love that. And more competition just means that you have to take a step back, evaluate, be like, where are we being sloppy and lazy, and attack the bottlenecks, right? Don't just sit back and go like, no, we have a lot of competition now. Wah, wah. It's like, no, do something about it. You have a power in the you started a business, you have the capacity to definitely overcome what's going on in the market for sure. And that was one of the things I was going to ask is about the private equity. That's a lot of chatter that's in the background. You pretty much answered that. It's like, would you ever sell to private equity if somebody came along, or is it something that's like, I just don't want to deal with any of that?
It really depends on every equity firm is different. Like I've seen a lot of good examples. I was not a lot, but like there's two, three are good. It really depends who is behind the equity and what's the end goal. If I feel like they're just here to flip and it's money grab, maybe not, maybe yes. Really depends on the ownership of that equity and who is behind. What are the people? Because there is a big difference between someone like Apple Roofing, Dustin Bigler, and what they did with the Crest versus someone who is truly just from Wall Street, who is coming in and they're just buying you to sell it 3 years later. I mean, it's stepping stone. You can definitely retire using that money, but what do you want your legacy to be? Do you want your company and your employees to be taken care of, or you selfish thinking about your interest? Answer those questions.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people are getting called. I get that all the time. I got called by BlackRock or whoever. It's like, oh my goodness, they're really being aggressive more now than they have been in the past couple, years. And last question I have here, with the marketing fitness program and all the contractors that you're working with, all the things that the people that you deal with, what's one major thing that a contractor could do today to like start bringing in their own leads, organic, something that they don't have to pay for the traffic? What's one thing they could implement today that would make a difference in their business?
For me, it's all starts and ends with a good name. People say, well, I don't understand branding. Where's the leads are? Is it Google? Is it Facebook? The answer is everything. But if you don't have a good name that people remember, your number one lead generation always have to be referrals and people talking about you. If you don't have memorable name, like franchise like name, people not going to remember you. They even if you do their job 2 years later, who did your oh, I don't remember, some guy, like whatever. uh I would say vehicle reps with a good name, with that crisp. If you don't have a wrapped vehicle today, that's where you start. It's the cheapest impression. I mean, before you do billboards, before you do flyers, even vehicle wrap, it will help you on the psychology aspect of it, because when you show up in a wrapped vehicle, you feel like a pro, right? Like they feel like you're the pro. You're not pretending, you're not faking. You're making a statement. It's a bold move. And also it's going to be on the road for next 5 years, and it's going to be in the right target area. You go to Facebook, to Google, you still might get calls from freaking California and neighboring states. When you have wrapped vehicles, people see it on gas station, they see it at Home Depots, they see it everywhere. So number one thing that everybody can do is change the freaking name. I have my highest tier is rebranding, and I've rebranded probably like 40-50 companies by now. And number one thing, what people tell me, I mean, it's over like 2 years, but number one thing people tell me is like, I started a company, I did not think about the name. Like they just put something on the wall, see what sticks, create that LLC. But then years goes by and they never revisit. They never think, well, was it a good name? It was like, so we changing like 6 names right now. and it makes huge difference. Like I've never ever heard a complaint or regret for changing the name ever. Like it's always the same story. Oh man, like first month after they do it, we're getting compliments. People remember us. I can't believe I didn't do it earlier. And honestly, it takes 30 days. Like even marketing fitness program, like I always run against the race. Like if I come up with a brand new revenue stream or a brand new business product, whatever, I give myself 30 days to finalize it. Otherwise, you'll be sitting on it forever and it'll never work, right? So marketing fitness was born within 30 days. Within 30 days, I created a brand. I created like your Stripe account, I connected everything. Like I make it releases, build a website, everything. You know, I found the platform I'm going to host it on. And today is a brand. I've done it for 1 year now. We're actually reaching out to 1 year of program, and I'm going to release it as a playlist now because every week I drop 5 videos, and it's my best program. But the point is this: if you have a business idea, you go for it. You tell the world, hey, I'm here to stay. Here's my name. You better remember it. I'm not going anywhere. And you want to be on top of mind. How what's better than wrapping your vehicle and having good name actually on that vehicle?
Yeah, that's fantastic. So going for the good name, wrap your truck. That's it. There's your $100 million business right there. No, I'm just
Yep.
kidding. No, but that's yeah. It's just I was wondering what moved the needle for people that you're seeing out there, and I can attest to that. My husband started a land surveying business 2 years ago. He wrapped his truck. He gets calls all the time just by being on the side of the road with his little lights going, and he's on his job. He's getting calls, so I can attest to that. He's building a great business just by wrapping the truck and word of mouth. So I can back that up. So that's pretty much all of my questions here for you today. Dmitry, thank you for being with us. Where can the folks find you?
MyMarketingFitness.com is my mentorship website. My online program is my best value proposition to the market now.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we thank you very much for being with us. If you guys like this video, please, of course, give us a like with a thumbs up, and any comments or questions, put them down below. We do monitor our comments on our YouTube channel. So thanks, Dmitry. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.